and start recording. Okay, meeting is called to order. Welcome everyone. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Oh, turn our mics on.
What? It was.
And Rusty, I apologize. I didn't realize you'd left the building.
It's okay. I got in.
All right.
God bless America. All right.
I do need a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
So moved.
That's it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to announcements. Mr. Taylor, do you have any announcements at the moment?
I have some in my report.
In your reports, okay. I would like to remind everyone that this is the board's meeting held in public, not a public board meeting. Public comment will be capped to 3 minutes, and beyond that, we will move into public input. First up is Alexis Fournier.
That's me.
Okay, I do need you to come stand at the podium.
Okay, I can do that.
Or the table.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I'm Alexis. I've got 2 kiddos in Spirit Lake. They're actually starting in Spirit Lake this year. We were involved in the voting process last year when we moved here. I do want to say, first of all, we understand there's a lot of hard decisions you guys have to make.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it is issues that lay at the state level. We know that. However, I think a lot of parents are having some concerns with wondering what options were chosen over the transportation issues. I mean, they're in regards to what you felt was more important than the safe transportation for our kids. A lot of us in Spirit Lake specifically, where we live, our kids have to cross 41 right over that turn, where people are driving 60 miles an hour. It's not a great situation even in a car.
Right.
And so we have a lot of concerns. We also have, we see people drive through crosswalks with cross guards there, constantly.
Unfortunately.
We have a lot of concerns. Our roads aren't very clear in the wintertime. We've got little kids that we think, there's families who can't afford to clothe their children properly in the winter, let alone make sure they have a car to drive. Not everyone has the village, just so many concerns. And so I think that with that being such a big issue, a lot of us, myself specifically, I think I just want to know what was justified as more important for some of that funding. That's my big concern, really. There's others. I think everyone touched on most of them on Facebook. You guys probably all saw. But I think some of I feel like there are some things that, not a lot of us can make it to these public meetings.
Mm-hmm.
We have jobs, we have kids, you guys have kids, everyone knows. But it's there's some things that when there's such a delay in communicating with parents, you can't help but wonder, where's the transparency, and so, yeah, I think that touches my big concerns is the transparency, why were the parents notified at the last minute, and only because there was a post on Facebook, feels like.
Right.
And can we have some explanation of what was funded over the transportation? Yeah.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do we have can you shoot us an email with your
Sure.
email address so we can
Absolutely.
answer back to you?
Absolutely,
Okay.
100%. Would it be okay for me to publicize that as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're,
Okay.
they're on the website, all of our email
Absolutely.
addresses. Yeah, that'd
Perfect.
be
Yeah,
great. Thank you.
100%. I would love to. Thank you.
Thank you. Savannah Bradich.
You didn't get Michelle Bradadich. Hi, for those who don't know me, I'm Savannah Bradadich. I am also up here to stress my concern over the same thing as Alexis, is the busing for Spirit Lake and the surrounding schools, because it really is dangerous. And I know there's probably nothing, it's like beating a dead horse probably at this point for this levy, because it kind of is what it is, and I understand that, and I get it's odd, like, I understand that, but I think moving forward we need to figure out what we need to do more as a community and as a board and as a school and to get to that point. But my main concerns for this are, do parents, I know a lot of other schools have, if you live past a certain mileage, usually the 1 mile marker, you can apply and the school has to write you a check for driving your kid to school. Do we have that here?
That's state law.
Okay, perfect. So I would love to, a mile and a half? Perfect, that's a good chunk of Spirit Lake where we're from, so I would love to get that information out to all my fellow parents who are going to have to work on providing their own transportation. I know for at my bus stop, which is for 3 streets, only kids come from 3 streets, where my bus stop is, there are 21 elementary age kids there. So that is kindergarten through 5th grade that are going to be walking on sidewalks that there's no sidewalks actually, hardly any in Spirit Lake. I would say 90% of our roads do not have sidewalks on them. Our plowing system is crappy. I mean, just like, there's only so much that the city can do as a whole also, and I understand that. But it's really a safety concern for not only me, but for all the parents who do work. All my neighbors work, both parents have to work. And I'm lucky enough to be able to step up and help my neighbors, but I can't help the whole entire city. I'm only one person. And that is just basically our biggest concern with this moving forward. I think I had one more thing, but I actually think that Lexi talked about it. Oh, and not to mention in Spirit Lake, it's not even 2 miles long. There are 15 registered sex offenders, all of them against children cases. Under the age of 16, there were over half of them were under the age of 16. So I feel like that our children are not only not safe walking to school because of the roads, but they're not safe because of our neighbors that we also have. And I'm not trying to put that on you guys, but it's also, I would like a little clarity, just like Lexi was saying as well. So that's all I have. Thank you for listening to my rant.
Thank you. Thank you, Savannah. Is there any more public input? No? Okay. I think she does. Savannah, you want some follow-up from the board?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can email you guys. I have
Perfect.
all your emails.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you
so much. Moving into reports, we have the superintendent report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As we have talked about, we created a motto, our leadership team, 1 district, 1 mission, every student, every day. So we're trying to abide by that. And then we have developed an act statement, and the way in which we act is called trust. And I'm just going to remind everyone in the room and our board that we're going to try to trust each other. We're going to build relationships grounded in honesty and reliability. We're going to respect each other, recognize every person has value and deserves to be heard, unite, strive to understand one another, and work towards common goals, support each other, help each other and grow, especially when challenges arise, as just mentioned. Transparency, be open and honest while using good judgment in how we communicate. Those are things that leadership has developed and also confirmed by our principals, so we're going to try and move forward with that. Follow-ups, I have no follow-ups, Madam Chair, at this time.
Okay.
So I just want you to know that. My superintendent report, obviously we posted on Facebook. Tony Cook, one of our bus drivers, has passed. I gave condolences to his wife. I met her. And then Ms. Cunningham and Ms. Dienert are working with the family to assist them with life insurance and other anything else that comes with that. Also, speak of Jessica Dienert, congratulations to her. She was named the Transportation Supervisor of the Year in the state of Idaho. So how about that?
Good job, Jessica.
Yeah, I think she earns it. She works really hard, and she was surprised. And then finally, to the board, I have, at least on the report, there was a group of us that went to the IASA conference. Mr. Massey, Jake Massey, Sharon Ryder, Kelsey Badger, Laura Spurway, excuse me. We went to the conference in Boise. Mr. Massey and I got to attend a new superintendent training with a whole bunch of about 25 others. We met a whole bunch of important people around the state, and I guess they updated us on the condition of where we're at in our state. So I just want you to kind of know that. It was a great educational experience for all of us, and the others attended breakout sessions. Last thing is just important dates, which we've already kind of bypassed one of them, August 11th. Mr. Massey and I had a K-12 administrative meeting. It went really well, a lot of great energy in the room, and obviously we talked about trust and how we're going to act with trust with all of us. We also have our August 25th, 8 a.m. welcome back breakfast. If you haven't put it on your calendar, we're looking forward to having you there and having a celebration of our staff and welcoming them back. I'm so excited. School starts in Arizona like a month ago, so I just want you to know. So I'm kind of out of my realm in that. And finally, September 2nd is our first day of school, which I am so looking forward to. Mr. Massey and I will be out and about trying to help out wherever we can and go from there. I'm sure that's all I have. Do you have any questions?
No, but I would like just to, again, congratulate Jessica Grantham for assisting in getting the fresh fruits and vegetables
Oh, I
grant
missed that.
for the
Thank you so
fiscal
much for
year.
doing that.
Not a problem. Thank you. That should help out the communities of John Brown and Spirit Lake. All right. Any questions from the board?
Welcome back breakfast at Lakeland High School.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Moving on to the assistant superintendent report.
All right. Jake Massey, Assistant Superintendent. Trustees, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be able to give a report to the board. As Mr. Taylor mentioned, we're really working on building trust just around the district using that acronym, and this is one way that I believe that we can really respect the work that's being done. So my report is also very simple this afternoon. I have two follow-up items. The first is student handbooks. The last time we met, the board had some suggestions about our student handbooks. All of those have been updated and revised to reflect the requests that you made. Those are actually available as an action item later today. I was also asked to inquire about where we're at in terms of approving all of our novel sets in the district. At this point, I believe that we have all of our secondary novel sets approved, and I will bring elementary novel sets for your approval a little bit later in the fall whenever we get our elementary library leads back in the schools. Okay. In curriculum and instruction, we have a couple of things to celebrate. The first is we had another successful year of summer school and credit recovery for our middle school and high school students. A big thank you to Josh Hegstad and Shannon LaFontaine for running those programs and really working with those kiddos very closely and their families for making sure that they have that opportunity. They did a killer job with that and really made it possible for those kids to recover those credits. Also, our state IRI scores are published, and so we have a lot to celebrate there. For those who cannot see the report that's in front of the board, Lakeland School District ended the year with 78% proficiency, compared to the rest of the state at 70.9. And so hats off to our elementary teams. They worked really, really hard this past year and saw a lot of growth in achievement.
Mine was
there.
doing that earlier today. Sorry, Jake.
No, you guys are totally fine. Also on the teaching and learning front, as the board is well aware, graduation rates remain very, very strong. The graph that I have here for the board is that Lakeland School District is reporting a 95.1% graduation rate. The average of the rest of the state is 82%. I ran the average for the rest of Kootenai County, and it was 89%. And so we have a lot to be proud of there in our high schools, absolutely. Some focus areas that I am working on in teaching and learning. The first one is still those IRI scores, right? We have a lot to celebrate, but there's some room for growth there as well. Specifically, we want to answer the question of how can we mitigate the learning loss over the summer. We see a trend of achieving great spring scores, and then we come back after the summer break and we see quite a dip. And ideally, we'd like to see that level as possible. We want to see students retain that information. We're preparing for a new test for the IRI this year. We're working hard on that. We're working together to refine and restructure our collaborations for our teaching staff this year so that they have higher quality professional development. And then we're also taking another look at our ISAT scores across the district and having that as a focus area this year. For safety and security, our focus areas are restructuring the district safety team a little bit. Again, just for role clarity, so that we know exactly responsible for different things and making sure that our schools are taken care of. We continue to nurture community partnerships. Lakeland School District has an outstanding safety program. Frankly, we set the bar very high. We can set the bar high because we have lots of outside agencies that support us. And so it's my goal to make sure to reach out to those folks and make sure that we can continue that working relationship. And finally, we're just working on structuring some training for our people so that we can continue that great support that we have. So,
In regards to the district safety, we actually created the bar.
sure.
We were the only one.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we were the, thanks to the prior superintendent, we were the only one in the state. So, yeah, it's been great. We always get a lot of good feedback.
We have a lot to be proud of there, and many people have contributed to that.
Yeah.
And so we just want to
Absolutely.
recognize all the hands that have been a part of it, for sure. All right. Are there any other questions?
Great report.
I have one quick question
Sure.
on the graduation rates. Is that the state's graduation rate, or is that our district calculated graduation rate?
That is the state graduation
Yeah.
rate as was
Perfect.
taken from
Thank
the
you.
state of Idaho report card.
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah. And actually, if I can just follow up, if you haven't seen this already, the state of Idaho rolled out a new, what they call a report card website this year. It is phenomenal.
It is.
Oh, wow.
It is easy to navigate. You
Okay.
can easily compare districts or schools within districts side by side on many different categories. It's very transparent. The work that we used to have to spend hours doing compiling data is just available for the public now. And so I would encourage you to
Nice.
check that out.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Next, we have the financial report. Go ahead.
Jessica Grant, I'm Chief Finance Officer. A couple of updates. During the finalization of state budget documents, we identified classified salaries had been budgeted too conservatively, actually the benefit portion of it. So we're anticipating an additional $306,000 and some change in state benefit apportionment revenue if all of our numbers hit correctly. This helps bring down the amount that we're dipping into our savings account, essentially the fund balance. We still have some additional expenses that came in. The property insurance for the district, the liability insurance was higher than anticipated, so it kind of washes the savings a little bit. The other thing to note is the Coota County Auditor's Office has notified us they'll issue payment for withheld penalties and interest, along with accrued earnings related to uncollected levy funding. So you may remember that the county stopped paying us
Yes.
penalties and interest. That went to the Idaho Supreme Court. They were told they were doing it incorrectly. They are back paying all of that. I do have a request in for a detailed accounting versus the report that we received from the county, because I would like to see how they calculated that dollar
Do we
amount.
have any anticipation of when they're planning on releasing funding?
It's supposed to be here today. They said by the 13th. So
Okay.
yeah. And then other than that, I had included the almost final. We've got a couple more entries to make for the end of FY25 financials. We're going to come in pretty right on where I thought we were going to for general fund balance, as far as that the ending fund balance for the general fund. So it's pretty spot on to what we had budgeted. You do not have the July financials just yet.
No, I understand that, but you're saying it's spot on when I show the proposed budget at 61 million, but we're coming in at 85 million.
No, I'm talking specifically just the general fund ending fund balance. It's hard to compare on
okay.
this one. I think I had budgeted 4.3 million for a general fund ending fund balance. I've got one more entry that came in that's going to reduce the amount that's on the general fund by about $250,000. So we're
Okay.
going to be right there at that 4.3 mark, which was what I anticipated we would be.
Okay,
So.
all right, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Jessica?
No, I would just like to add a little tidbit. I mean, I get the whole savings account, but sometimes people think that we can just spend it.
No.
And we're required to have a certain percentage held back by law, so.
Right.
I mean, we all know that,
Yeah.
but.
It's that fine line of helping people understand
Right.
the terminology, that
Right.
it's savings account, but it's really a restricted savings
Yeah,
account.
it's a mandated
Yeah,
savings
it's a
account.
mandated savings account. In fact, I think one of the policies that's coming to the board this evening actually reviews, that we set in policy. The state sets it, I think, at 5.5%, but the district sets it at 8.3% for minimum fund balance compared to general fund expenditures. We're right there at that threshold right now. And that policy outlines what we do if we go below that
Right.
dollar amount, so.
Yeah, they keep recommending, they want us to have 3 months and want us to keep,
Yeah.
the auditors, it's like, we're
Right.
doing good to get this.
Yeah. So I'm just proud of this district. A lot of hard work went into last year with the increased enrollment and the additional hires for us to not dip into fund balance as much as we had originally budgeted. That's an amazing feat.
Mhm.
So
It
a
is.
lot of hard work went into that.
Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else
Thank
have any
you.
questions or comments? Okay. Moving on to the facilities report.
Good evening.
Hello.
Tim Hake, facilities director. Let's see.
Can you read that?
No, I got my phone though. So ongoing, we're still working with the engineers with the modernization fund project. We'll get things finalized.
Few minutes.
So that's moving along very well. We've identified a lot of deficiencies that need to be addressed, but we're going to prioritize with obviously the HVAC and some of the safety issues. Bid package is almost ready for the John Brown siding, windows, and doors project, so I can go out to bid early, spring, late winter, so we can get that project rolling as soon as school's out. Spirit Lake did get a new head custodian, Matt Carnes, who was at Lakeland High School as their, I guess, their sports kind of event coordinator, which the man is amazing.
Awesome.
And so Spirit Lake got a really good find. Lakeland lost somebody good. So they're going to be backfilling that position. And Lakeland Middle School, we have an open custodian position there. I did fill the vacant spot at maintenance
Okay.
with Jeff Tucker. Excellent resume, and he literally hit the ground running. So just like our last hire, these guys just jumped right in, so it's
That's
been
great.
great. Let's see, sprinkler repairs, that's just an ongoing issue. It's not just from the concrete guys. Valve box just got destroyed over at Lakeland Middle School today, so it's just an ongoing issue.
How did it get destroyed?
Somebody parked on the grass and drove right over it.
Drove over it, oh no.
Yep.
No.
So,
Was that from Rathdrum days?
no.
Okay.
So
it
there was no
prior to.
cone on it or anything?
Yeah, it's literally just right
Yeah.
on the teacher's side, that little area there.
Okay.
They're hard to see sometimes, but we've identified the people that were parking that area and it finds them not to.
Okay.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, maybe we could send out something to staff to not park on the grass anywhere, regardless of what school. So maybe we could get because that just makes me crazy.
Yeah. It's an
That's
unnecessary
kind of, yeah,
expense.
we're putting so much money
Unnecessary
into
repairs when we're already busy.
Yeah, and it's a simple walk and extra park in a actual.
And I
parking
did,
spot.
we talked to Matt Neff, and he just talked to all the sports guys out there too, and let them know, so.
Good.
But that's not a bad idea. Let's see, the entrance Lakeland High School, Jimmy got some donations to do the rock out there, so that paid for all that project.
Okay.
Grass was dead there anyway, so the rocks will look much better.
Where are you talking about?
Just as you go into Lakeland on the Dairy Queen side, that entrance right there, that hillside that just goes up, it's always dead. The sprinklers just don't hit it.
All the way along there?
Just on the fence that shares with the nail salon side,
Right near the entry.
breaks to the baseball field side. It's kind of a dog leg. This will definitely give it some more curb appeal. And then Timberlake Middle School, their junior tackle program got goalposts and a scoreboard, and that's been installed now. So their junior tackle program will now have a field to play on, and they're sharing with the soccer team up there. So they're excited. I think they have their first game September.
Saturday. It's Saturday, next Saturday. the
Next
20th.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
We're excited.
Awesome.
So they're excited for that. They get their own field now. So
Yeah.
And that's
Fantastic.
That's the practice field for the high school soccer, correct?
correct. It's on that hill
Okay.
by the middle school, just over the fence. So they're sharing with the soccer team, and it seems to be going well. Senske's gone out, done another round of fertilization on the sports fields, and they're actually, we've had a horrible drought. We haven't had rain since May, but some of these fields are actually looking pretty decent, so at least football and soccer should have some nice grass to play on this year. The garbage contract, we were in discussion with switching from waste management because they pretty much abandoned the school district. And until recently, they've hired an individual specifically to bring our account back. They moved him out here because we're one of their biggest accounts in this area. And due to a few other issues, they've given us a 12-month probationary, no contract, cancel anytime, and dropped our bill 25%.
Great.
And now I have a person local that I can literally reach out and touch. So I think our service will improve with that and our bill will go down. They've neglected us for quite some time, so.
On the pest control, wasn't,
Did I skip over that?
you did, I was just curious, is that not, because wasn't that Senske as well?
No, that was Point Pest Control.
Point, okay.
And we put it out to bid, and Eden came in with a better bid and more services.
Okay,
And again, another local company, so they're expecting good things from those guys. Lakeland Middle School carpet is being installed now. They'll be done this week.
Yay.
The Lakeland Middle School gym, it looks amazing, and they're not done yet, but they stripped it down, they repainted, and it's going to be beautiful. One problem is the bleachers will not be in for the first day of school, but a couple days later. There's a water pipe sticking up out of the floor that was behind the old bleachers that no one knew about, and the plumbers can't relocate it, so they had to get a couple extra parts to redesign the bleachers, but they're still getting new bleachers.
Okay.
So, and we put in new backboards for them too. So Lakeland Middle School will have a brand new gym to go to when they show up.
And the new bathrooms within the last couple of years, so that's
Yeah,
It looks pretty nice.
it'll look really nice. They'll be proud of that. And I think Harrison worked with them on a logo for the middle of the floor too.
cool.
So it should look really neat when
Yeah.
they're done. Asphalt repairs, so that's in progress. It'll actually be finished this week with the repairs, all the dig outs and everything like that. Excuse me. Then they're working on the seal coating and striping, and they will work around everybody else's schedule, so that'll all be done. Concrete. Not done in my existence right now.
It's become a dirty word. Just
Well, yeah, it was a
So-
dirty word for many years.
Yeah.
It
Has
took
been
forever
worse.
to move forward, so,
The Teamster Union decided to go on strike.
okay.
They are the drivers for concrete. This is a Washington problem, but interstate is where our concrete is coming from. So we have a backup plan, but it has not affected us yet. So we've been in very close contact with interstate. We've gone out to Coeur d'Alene, got a mixed design from them that's already an approved mixed design for municipal projects. So they're our backup plan, and we now have 3 concrete companies working on the project.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
strong push to the end. Then they will do their little touch-ups as needed, but the big push was to have entrances.
flagpoles will happen after.
Flagpoles will be after school starts, and that was not their fault, that was in ordering. They're just take a long time to get them in.
Okay.
And I have the bollards for all the schools are at my shop now with their stainless steel bollards, so be in front of Lakeland Middle School and John Brown.
Perfect.
And then the door for the wrestling room. Trustee Quimby and I will work on that to come up with some ideas for that. Oh, and the boiler at Timberlake is on order. So one of them is on the production floor as we speak.
Perfect.
Is that,
Twin Lakes?
Twin Lakes Elementary?
Did I say?
Yeah, you said Timberlake, it's okay.
I do it too.
You just saw TL.
Twin
Yeah.
Lakes?
Yeah, at the end.
That's right.
TL.
Twin Lakes Elementary?
Yeah.
You know what I said?
Timber.
No.
Timber. You always do that.
I know what it is.
Yes.
We won't hold it against you. It's
No, that one is a huge deal because that's that one that had the residential boilers that were in it that we're down to 2 out of 5. So this is a fully comprehensive unit that will replace that whole system.
Perfect.
awesome.
And unfortunately, that one came in a little bit over budget. We do have some
Oh, yes.
flexibility within the plant facility levy to cover the slight increase on it, but just so you know, it came in a little bit more than what we budgeted at this time.
What was budgeted?
65,000 total.
And it's coming in at 68.
Okay.
So we're just covering the difference within some of the unspent project funds on other projects.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Any questions for me?
Questions?
No, thank you. Yes,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, moving on to the consent agenda. We have the minutes from the previous meeting, minutes of subcommittee meetings to be accepted. Bills list, bills breakout, bill utilities, the HR items. Okay. Any comments on the previous minutes of the previous meetings?
Nope.
The only thing I would ask, when we're prepping the minutes, on the call meeting to order on the executive, you listed all the attendees, where that should actually be who's in executive session, not at the meeting.
Oh, gotcha.
And then if a trustee is not in attendance, we do need to identify that.
Okay.
Okay. So if we could just make,
You go ahead, yeah.
I was just gonna say if we could just make those corrections on the executive minutes before that would be grand.
Also, if you could please change on the minutes to which one is this? July 30th meeting. Could you please change it to the LEA President Bradbury instead of just President Bradbury?
Yeah.
Please. Thank you.
I kinda like President. You can take it. Should you want that job?
The pay's better.
The pay is better. You're gonna have to change it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, any other comments for the minutes?
No.
Okay. Moving on to the bills list. Any comments on the bills list?
I have one question.
Oh, I did this wrong.
Surveying for projects at John Brown, Spirit Lake, and Athol Elementary to Johnson Surveying. What projects?
Concrete.
Oh, okay.
Jessica Grantham, CFO.
Okay.
That was for the concrete projects. We did have to do some surveying work to make sure the bid docs that went out were appropriate for those areas.
Okay. That was just surprising.
It was.
Good chunk of
It's
change.
a chunk of
So,
change,
yeah.
My question is, we have 2 bonds for the notary for the clerk.
The one
We
was
have-
for transportation and one was for the clerk, so that is very
Well,
likely a typo.
We have a state of Idaho surety bond for notary public for Sierra, and then we have from Coeur d'Alene Insurance notary bond for Sierra 160, 130.
I will look into that. And I
Okay.
think that's and those happened before we got clarification from our insurance company that we don't have to do those.
That's fine. I just want to make sure we didn't
Yeah.
spend $90 for a bond for
Yeah, no,
Sierra.
I will clarify that. I know that we did one at the same time for our transportation department, so because they have to notarize stop
Mhm.
arm violations, and so it's
Right.
nice to have a notary within the office there so that they're not having to seek that from
No, I am
elsewhere.
not
So I
opposed to
believe
that.
that's what it is, but I'll double check.
Okay.
And then why do we have an ICRIM policy renewal?
It's not iCrimp.
Okay.
Yeah, it's our new one. I didn't catch that one for the wording. We've used iCrimp forever, but it's not iCrimp
Right.
anymore. So
Morton, right?
it's through Morton, but we pay directly to the insurance company. That the insurance is through.
It might be beneficial to start calling it the type of insurance that actually.
Yeah, I
is
need
instead of
to remember
ICRIM.
what company is through. That's
Okay.
we have a couple different ones because we have insurance coverage through different. The cybersecurity is through a different company and stuff. So.
And that I understand.
Yeah.
We have $150,000 payment to Edmedics. There's an indication there of 5 years. Is that a one-time payment for 5 years?
Yes, that's the wireless access points. We're getting a chunk of that money back through the E-rate program. Those, you'll remember we presented that information back at the March board meeting. It was approved. We're getting 60% of that reimbursed through E-rate. So those wireless access points, I believe, I can remember that far back were for the secondary schools. We had done them in 2 waves. So all of the elementaries were done 1 year and the secondaries were done the next through the E-rate program or vice versa.
But the licensing is for 5 years. So we won't see that bill again for 5 years.
And then we'll hopefully use E-rate for it again.
I'm good. I have no further questions.
Any further questions? No. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions on utilities or the breakouts?
No.
Moving on to HR items, we have the HR memo, the applications and the retirement resignations.
No questions, but I appreciate receiving the applications and the resumes, and it's nice to get a broad understanding who we're hiring. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
I agree. Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I did have a question.
Oh, we can still have
But I
conversations.
appreciate you jumping in there. Okay, so we do have a motion and a second on the floor. However, before I call for a vote, I would like to find out, one of the resignations commented that there was a change in job description. Was that due to, did we change the job description, or was it just reallocation of duties assigned? Do we know?
1 second, because I just accidentally logged out.
Oh, no worries.
Hate it when that happens.
On what was provided, it's on the second page.
Well, if you look at the whole sentence, it says that the work calendar for the job description changed. Yeah, it's a little confusing. I think they're referring, maybe they tried to look at a calendar and couldn't make an appropriate
That's not
date.
on mine.
Oh, okay.
The change in my job description and knowing that I will be required to travel between 2 schools.
Yeah, Brooke Cunningham, Director of HR. So that position was one of our cuts in the 2 million. And so we had to take that position and provide them between 2 schools. Plus that position is technically a 9-month position, but this person had been 12 months prior. So it's a 9-month position, so that's part of it. Mostly she was just ready to retire, great employee.
No, and
Yeah.
I'm not asking for any of that. What my question was did we change the job description, or is it that we modified, and so it be, because if the job description has changed, I'd like the board to see it. If it hasn't changed and it's just been sort of a modification of responsibilities that falls under that umbrella of other duties as assigned, then that's fine. That's my question.
Yeah, no, it's not a separate job description, it's the,
Okay.
it's the same job description.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
So we do have a motion for approval of the consent agenda and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to new business. We have the NIC MOU. Do we have any conversations or questions we'd like to talk about with regard to the NIC MOU? There's a recommendation to approve the MOU from the superintendent.
So was there any change in comparison to the one that we have with them, or it's exactly the same?
It's
as what
exactly
we
the same as
approved?
last year.
I do believe there is new language in there for the additional compensation that they're providing.
Yeah, go ahead.
And that was my only, I didn't have anything to compare.
It is in there.
so-
So that MOU amendment was brought to the board in February for that additional funding, so there is no changes from the amendment, it's just carrying that program forward for the additional facility funding. So,
Okay,
it's exactly the same as the spring MOU, it just goes for the whole year.
perfect.
Move to approve the recommendation on the MOU.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to the NWSH MOU amendment. My only question is with respect to their amendment for section 2.D, athletic trainer shall track and provide a HIPAA compliant monthly report to NWSH of the number of athletes requiring additional medical services. Do our parents know that their kids are being reported on? That's my only question.
I can't answer on that. I'd have to research on that and see actually what the report is and
Right.
what they're listing specifically, and yeah, so.
My guess is that their own, this is just my
I
understanding
understand
of kind of how it's worded,
Right.
because it's HIPAA compliant, is that it's just numbers of,
Right,
of
it's,
students,
yeah.
is
That's
my
what I'm-
I don't
understanding.
think it would be names by any
Thinking,
means.
but I don't know if we've communicated that,
Right.
hey, you're part of this project. Which I would understand why they're tracking the numbers. I'm not against that at all. I'm just wanting to make sure the parents are aware and what it is actually that they're reporting on. I think that would be beneficial to know.
I can work with the high school principals and make sure that information gets out to the parents, if that would be
Perfect.
acceptable, Madam Chair.
Any other questions or comments on the amendment to the Northwest Specialty Hospital?
I'm just curious
Oh.
why it's an amendment and not an MOU.
Because the MOU we approved was for 2 years, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The other thing I would like to state is they really need to identify the district correctly. It is the Lakeland Joint School District, not just Lakeland School District. We're not in Florida. So,
Yes, ma'am.
sorry.
Out of curiosity, off the top of my head, I can't remember the dollar amount that we're receiving as a result of this.
I know it's 80%.
It's 80%.
So it's 80%, Joss Capron, Chief Finance Officer, it's 80% of the athletic trainer's salaries, which we bill them and receive on a reimbursement basis. And then they also give $12,000 for supplies for our 2 athletic programs at each high school total. So we split it between the 2 high schools for their purchase of supplies and materials related to athletic training needs.
Just curious, is that split
It's-
50-50?
It was last year with the intention at the end that if there was anything left over, that we would reach out to the athletic activities directors to see what additional needs that they had at that time. Open to having that conversation with the ADs and our principals to see how to move forward with that for this year, to see if that worked sufficiently for them last year. Total dollar figure, I'm throwing a number out here, it was probably upwards of 130 last year.
I could pull it in like a second.
Yeah. But it's
Well.
She doesn't have
You're the
she
second
needs
at
a
a
computer.
I just wanted to see it. I mean, she sounded pretty confident.
Yeah. So it's a significant figure. With this MOU in place, we're allowed to pay our athletic trainers a competitive wage that we wouldn't typically be able to pay them as a classified employee. So it brings their wages up quite a bit with this MOU in place.
Okay, that's what I wanted to get on the table.
Yeah.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
4 in favor, 1 opposed. Motion carries. And I would ask that we identify our school district correctly in these
I will make sure that amend
Two.
that before we
Yeah, it's in my
Thank you.
notes too.
Aye, perfect. Moving on to the additional surplus items.
Chair Thompson.
Yes, ma'am.
To circle back, the $30 on the notary was an application to become a notary in the state of Idaho, and the other $60 was the bond for the notary.
Oh, okay.
So they're two distinct different things.
Maybe next time we could say application?
Yes, yep. Then
Perfect.
we'll work on our
Thanks.
wording.
Okay.
So Chair Thompson, Board Trustees, we have some additional items that we would like to surplus. They didn't quite make our July cutoff date for posting the agenda. So we have multiple buses that need new engines, have a lot of electrical issues, have a ton of miles on them that we're looking to surplus. And then Spirit Lake Elementary's PTA, PTO, PTE, PT something.
Association.
They donated a ATV.
It was a four-wheeler with a snowplow attachment. If we rebuilt the engine twice on it, it will not run. So they'd like to recoup as much as they could, keep the plow part, and then put that money back into a new purchase.
Okay. I am curious, why are we surplusing 2 buses that have an estimated cost for repair, one of $5,000 and the other of $8,000?
1 second. Jessica was not able to be here tonight, but she did send me a message on what to say. With the changes in the routing in the district, we did have 20 spare buses, and if we surplus all these, we will still have 20 spare buses. So that was part of it. And then buses 54 and 55, it's computer electrical brake pieces, and that on top of the items here, she is estimating them to be around $15,000 to get everything fixed. So this information, just a little bit out of date, it's a little bit more expensive to fix them, given the miles on them compared to the rest of the buses that we have in our fleet and the space that they're taking up in the yard. It's just the recommendation to surplus. We do have 3 new buses that should be here any day now.
I'll believe that when I see it.
I know, me too. Me too. I've learned that the receiving of brand new buses is the wild, wild west of when they actually show up. So
We have 20 spare buses.
with the reduction in routes, yes, we have 20 spare buses. So with these ones, 2, 4, 5, that's 25 spare buses in the yard, not including the 3 that are on their way.
Need to make some room.
Yes.
How does that work?
I wouldn't say they're spare, because you have to remember, we do run like athletic trips and things like that. So there's, I wouldn't say they're just hanging out not getting used, because they are getting used. Please no, they're definitely getting
Well,
used.
and the driving the routes and paying the drivers and getting drivers and
Yes.
retaining drivers is
Yeah.
really the bigger issue. Okay.
Move to approve the recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
I have a question. So are all these gas or diesel or do
All
we
of those
know?
are gas.
They're all
Yeah.
gas.
The only diesel that we have coming online are the new ones that we just purchased.
Okay.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to the supplemental curriculum.
Fall athletic schedules.
Oh, did I miss those?
Yep.
Oh, well, we can always bounce around. It's good. Okay, fall athletic schedules. Circling back. Do we have any comments or questions?
I thought it was interesting that Timberlake Middle School has their girls basketball schedule on here already. Is that?
I can't speak on it. I'm just looking at it right now and bouncing it.
That would be a winter sport, but I mean, not that I.
Well, maybe they just got it scheduled early.
Well, and I looked at the calendar to make sure that this wasn't last year's schedule. I mean, the 7th of January is a Tuesday, so I guess.
Yes, it is.
Or maybe
I can
that was
check.
last year's.
I can follow up.
These ones were what were sent to me when?
Yeah, no.
Football, soccer.
It does look like they did 20 and 25, 26 on all of them, so.
Yep, that's good news.
But yeah, they could have maybe missed some or something if they, if they just modified the prior
Yeah.
years or,
So they play on Wednesdays and Fridays?
I can speak to that, is that okay?
Please.
They usually, what happens, our athletic director usually just meets as soon as the season's over, and then they set the schedule, so I'm sure he's just on the ball, getting that done.
Perfect.
Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you, Mrs. Lawler.
You're welcome.
Yeah, there it is, right.
Any comments, conversations, questions on the fall athletic schedules?
nope, good to me.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to the supplemental curriculum again.
Second time's a charm.
Alright, so we have 2 supplemental materials. Both materials are specific to a 12th grade government class, correct?
They're both specific to high
English.
school.
High school, yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
number 1 there is just for high school English.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Oh, thank you.
I thought it was great. And I loved the in-depth explanation, all the detail that came. I was like, yes. It looked great. I was like, I would sit in there and listen to what's going on. Yeah.
Right?
Phenomenal teacher.
Yes.
Yeah, it sounded
Absolutely.
really good.
Yeah, very
Yeah, it
considerate
was-
about his programming.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yep.
For 12th grade, I mean, it was great.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I will pass that on.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that will mean a lot.
Yeah, I read a lot of it. I thought, oh, this is pretty good. It's very comprehensive. I have no questions.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to the handbooks. We have the school data curriculum teaching and learning handbooks. What I will say with respect to the school handbooks is, and I think you did note it on here, maybe not. Thank you for highlighting the changes that were made. That is
Absolutely.
huge,
Absolutely.
because then we don't have to go back. It's valuable when the basis is structurally sound and there's no changes, and this is just what we modified. Perfect. Thank you. There are some school books that still don't have the assistant superintendent,
Oh, goodness.
identified.
Okay.
So if we could just make sure that those are updated. And I don't know if it was here in your other update that you had made the comment, some of the schools still need to do that. So I think we're on it, but just pointing that out again.
Absolutely.
And the data handbook, we'll reflect on that when we do the SIP training, correct, for the school
Yes.
year? Okay.
Yeah, and if it's okay, I have a question about that, if this is an appropriate time.
Sure.
For the SIP data workshop that we combined the curriculum workshop for in September, I went back the last couple of years and watched those meetings and looked at those agendas just to see what had been in place. And I would really like to just ask the board, what would you like to see? What is the expectation there? I discovered that there was a pretty wide range in the presentation and what you guys took time to discuss versus what was prepared and eventually approved. And I just want to make sure that those, I don't want you guys to have to schedule an additional meeting if it's not meeting your needs.
Well, just speaking from historical content, traditionally the SIP is brought to us and said this is what we're doing.
Okay.
So with that in mind, having the conversation about are we utilizing the SIP as it should be, and are we putting good measures in there that we're actually being able to measure?
Sure.
At least from my perspective, that would be great if we could tailor it to our school district. On that note, I don't know what any of the other trustees might have to say.
Well, I think a lot of it too, we had the data for a while, so some of us could digest what was there, and then we just came with questions or more discussion. But I do think that we do rely heavily on the data, with at least seeing if we made the mark, and if we didn't, why didn't we? And that's typically that was a lot of discussion. And then how much can we push to continue to raise the bar to get, you know, in a better position?
Certainly.
You know, I know that's how I always looked at the data, was an actual measurement of where we've been, where we're going, kind of thing. Understanding all the nuances that are involved in it. But other than that, I think that was, and then of course it was just presented to whatever stood out to the assistant super, whoever, you know. And a lot of it, you have to remember, the last couple of years was all new in the approach and gathering the data and creating the handbook. So that's probably why there was a lot of discussion around those things, because it was all new. It was a new path we were trying to go down. Because in the past, literally the SIP was like somebody would just pick a number and bring it to the board, and they say, oh, that's how we got here. They're like, oh, 30%. We're like, okay, well, so is this one 25? Oh, no, that one's 65. Well, why was it? There was no rhyme or reason. There wasn't even a 3% across the board. It was literally just a number.
Okay.
So we've tried to watch the data and gather the data as much as possible, and then see, you know, where are we hitting the mark, where are we not? And then the assistant soup was really good with meeting with the buildings and talking to them and saying, okay, what's going on here? And then she would come and report that to us, so we could all sort of be on the same page without trying to overwhelm the buildings, but also raise the standard. And how do we get there?
I really appreciate the insight into what part of that is valuable. So what I'm hearing is that I can bring a draft of the SIP plan that is up for discussion, that will be a board workshop, and so we can work together on that. The data is in this handbook, as you can see, and so it's not going to change, so there's plenty of time to review that ahead of time, and then I'll still be prepared to answer any questions at that time. For the curriculum piece, I suppose I have the same question. How much would you like to see at that point in time at that meeting, in addition to this handbook that is on the agenda tonight?
Well, it's my understanding that we are back to following the expectation that the curriculum is laid out for a month.
Okay.
It's usually the month of August.
Sure.
Throughout the district office, to where, you know, community members, parents, and trustees can come in and peruse the curriculum at their leisure, and gather any questions, and then bring the questions to that meeting. Am I missing something on that?
No, that's it. And we haven't really adopted anything. I think we talked more about it when we adopted something new to see how it was going, but we really don't have anything new. So a lot of that is just to make sure that we're meeting the state statute, that we have to have this laid out so that anybody can come and look at it.
Review it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the big push from the board, was making sure that we're making access for parents
Sure.
to see what their children are being taught.
In one place.
In one
So they
place.
don't, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, absolutely. Thank you for the clarification. That's
Mhm.
very helpful.
great.
We want to put together a productive meeting for you, so I appreciate your time.
Follow the KISS principle.
Keep it simple.
Yes.
We're all about it.
A smarty. Not stupid.
He has a new
Smarty.
saying, by the way.
Yeah, Rusty and
he
I,
said follow
Mr.
the
Taylor
KISS
and I are all
principle,
about
keep
that.
it
We're trying to
simple.
simplify and clarify.
That's why I said
Simplify and
smarty,
clarify.
not
That's what we do.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes, and I appreciate both of your update reports and bullet points without a billion highlighted, different font color. I mean, it's nice, precise, to the point. I really, really, really appreciate that. I get the information and I don't have to travel around to find it. It was awesome. So thank you for
Thank
doing
you.
that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Do we have any further conversations on the school data curriculum or teaching and learning handbooks?
I do not.
I have none.
Any further clarification for you from the board?
Nope, it is
Okay.
all in the report.
Perfect. I'll move to approve the handbooks, school data curriculum, teaching and learning handbooks that were presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. We have the custodian of records handbook being brought forward. This is a new handbook that we haven't had, but it is needed. My only suggestion would be under appendices, if we could put the glossary of terms first.
Okay.
That'd be great. But I think it looks great. Thank you for, did you create this all on your own? Thank you.
Yeah.
You did a fabulous job.
Can, we add, oh yeah, I see you did down here. Oh no, that's the statute. Yeah, I didn't see, any reference to any of the, policies in regarding records retention and some of those other things if we can add. I just think that would be helpful for numerous reasons.
Well, under section 3, we've got legal compliance, so if we could add a component of district policies to show that, that would probably be a good additive.
Yeah, definitely. I'll get that together and then I'll resubmit it to you guys.
Perfect.
Yeah, but great. It looks really
Yeah,
good. Thank you
it
for
does.
taking
Great.
the time to do that.
Yes. So I'll just motion to table the,
Let's table.
yeah.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. And moving on to the FFA trip.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Very
Heck
cool.
yeah, and good job.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work to get invited to some of these more national. So I will move to approve.
Second.
Couple
Motion.
questions, if I might.
No,
Yes.
you missed the window, Bob. Sorry.
There's no indication here about how many students are involved, how many chaperones are involved, what the travel arrangements are.
Good question. I'd have to follow up with that. The biggest concern is that we wanted to make sure that the travel was covered, and as the student noted, parents, and you will basically cover your expenses. So I can follow up with
Send us the
that.
information.
Yes, sir. I will. I'll put it in my notes. And you said number of kids going right, chaperones, is that correct, Mr. Yes.
And what the travel arrangements are, or the lodging arrangements.
Lodging arrangements.
Are you good if we go ahead and
No more
approve?
questions.
Okay.
Can we approve?
Are,
Yes, please.
okay. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to, okay, board policy. I do want to let the board know that these policies have not gone out for parent input. one of the policy committee members, I can speak, reached out to the clerk and asked for them to all go out to parents. I do want to remind the board that specifically the 7,000 policies and the 8,000 policies, that Jessica is actually reviewing and doing her whole nines on it, and then the board's directive was please review these and bring them to the board, because there really isn't parent input that needs to be, or that can be, I should say, provided, due to the fact that these are all governed by accounting procedures and laws that we can't negotiate on, so to speak. The school year calendar and instructional hours is a 2200 policy that didn't get sent out. I don't know if it's the board's desire to have it go out for survey. I would like to note that on policy 2200 under school calendar, the word annually was removed. It was a correction, but it didn't make it to the cleaned up version. So I don't know if the board it would be the board's pleasure to send that one out for parent input. The code of ethics for school board members, that policy was just
Is it brand new?
the
Board.
it's not brand new. It was revised in 2022. These were being brought forward because we do need to make it through all the policies.
Yeah. Well, there wasn't any,
There weren't any changes.
Okay.
Correct, because it was just done, and there was a lot of work that was put into it, and not much needs to necessarily change. And I don't know if it's the board's pleasure that if nothing is changed within the policy, if it should still be going out, or if it should just be being brought to the board. So out of respect for the committee, I want to make sure that it is following the desires of the board. But the 8500, 8600, 7710, 7215, those are all specific to the finance land that we really can't control. The sick leave policy, policy 5405, was revised, and the sick bank was added into that policy based on direction from the board. That did not go out to parents for input, merely for the fact that it's
Governed by statute.
it is governed by statute, but it's also paralleling the negotiated agreement. It's a component of it.
Mhm.
So I don't really know that we could have parent input on it, given the fact that what's controlling and governing it. And then the only other one, the legal status and operation is a 1000 policy. That did not go out. I suppose it could. I don't know what type of input parents or community members would be able to offer with respect to the laws that it's been governed by.
Yeah, this one is governed by
Right.
Idaho statute, so.
So I guess I would like to know from the board its direction. Specifically, I know that we are very diligent in having all policies related to student learning, student, and everything for community members, etc. I believe those are the 3000s and the 4000s. So we are very diligent about having parent input on those within the committee. But we did give directive for, I will call them the Jessica policies. Because, you know, that's her wheelhouse. I mean, we don't really even weigh in that much. It is.
Sandbox.
It's her sandbox.
Good.
So what is the desire of the board here?
Well, I think a couple of things. I don't see any a harm and letting the community know, hey, these are the policies being worked on. Obviously those we can't take input on, we can't take input on. I mean, they're just, and maybe just a little caveat, but at least they feel like they're not being held back for some reason, right? So I don't see any problem in letting everybody know what's going on. The other thing is if there was no change to the policy, I mean, other than those we have to renew every year.
Right.
I don't even think, in my opinion, it doesn't need to come back to the board. If nothing changed in it, the board already approved it recently, not 1990 that nothing's changed, but if it's a recent approval, I would think it would be fine if there's no change.
So I think that it should come to the board in just so that, just because the committee doesn't have changes, just doesn't mean that
the board doesn't want to.
And we want to, I mean, it's good to say, yeah, we did review it and we didn't make changes, and just having that reviewed on date, I think is good. On the ones that do affect students, if they're not being changed, those should go out to families.
I would agree.
Because again, just because the committee doesn't have changes that they want to see doesn't mean that
the parents don't have any. Correct. Well, and following up, like with these policies that can't necessarily be modified because they're governed so heavily, would it be reasonable to send them out to parents with a note stating, these are going before the board at this board meeting? If you have concerns or comments, please come and provide public input, so that we're not excluding them, but it's not also, because the turnaround time for public input is a week, so we send it out, they have a week to respond, and get their response back, then it comes back to policy committee, we take the parent input, we remodify whatever suggestions or critiques, and then it comes to the board. So if there's policies that parents can't necessarily weigh in on because of what's governing the policies, would it be most appropriate in the spirit of transparency to just send them out still with a note saying these are going to be approved, and if you have concerns, please bring that to the board meeting? Or is that too much of a
How are they sent out?
email, I guess, or Skylert? How do we send?
They go through a type of like almost like a, I don't want to say quiz. What's the word?
Like a survey? Survey. Yes, please.
Yeah.
It's a Google form.
Yeah, they go out via Google form through our Skylert system.
Okay.
And so it's not something that parents opt into Skylerts all or nothing.
Right.
And so if they want to receive Skylerts for emergency notifications, they're also opting in for policy updates and all of these things. And so that's the way that they're distributed right now.
Okay. Which, I mean, the last policy we sent out had 3 comments. It's not like, I know there are specific policies that parents are adamant that they get a heads up on. But I don't think it's the desire of the committee or this board to be so narrow with like, well, you only get this one or that one. We've been very transparent in asking for input and feedback from parents. But there are umbrellas that, you know, parents, I suppose they could provide feedback and input on, but it's not going to be, we're not going to be able to really modify things because it's so heavily governed by different. But then on the flip side of the fence, it would be following in the pursuit of just transparency, saying, hey, looky, these are the policies we worked on. So how would the board like to proceed?
I think we should just continue sending them out the way we have.
I agree.
But it sounds like we're missing a link though, because it used to be more than just, people actually signed up. So if they don't have a student, they were still being notified via email. So I don't know what happened to that. There was a sign up that was created. They used to get to it from the website, and then they could, if they wanted to be involved in policy, maybe they couldn't make it, but they wanted to be aware, and they could provide feedback in that sheet. but I don't know what happened to that.
Well, can't we just have a page on the website
Yeah.
that's devoted to this whole
Right.
issue?
Upcoming,
Right.
So that anyone can see it, and if they want to comment, they can, because I understand the practicality of doing what's discovered, but
Mhm.
you got a whole segment of the population that's not
Right.
included.
Yeah, I was gonna say staff and
Exactly.
community.
Well, that was our initial,
Concern.
that was the initial initial checkbox when we were talking about redoing the whole website. That was supposed to be there, that says, here's what we're working on, here's who you can do feedback, blah, 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 but we just never got there.
And if I may, I apologize to interrupt, I know this is not
No,
my
you're fine.
discussion. You know, from the administrator perspective, a lot of times less is more
Right.
with Skylar's. You
Yeah.
know, we see our readership, if you will, really decline
Yes.
the more we send out these messages.
Absolutely.
You know, and so to Trustee Jones's point, I think that could be an option that really serves transparency as well as just encouraging people to participate without inundating their emails or text messages.
You know, you can occasionally throw out a comment in Skylar that if you're interested in policy development,
Yes,
see the
we're better
webpage.
at it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yep, and Coeur d'Alene does a phenomenal job on that. That's what I asked to be modeled after. So if you go look at Coeur d'Alene's website,
Sure.
all of their policies they're working on and input, it's all there. Where, you know, what's going to the board, what's next down the pipeline, you know, so people are aware. That would be great if we could get that done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like a bill tracker.
What's that?
It sounds like a bill tracker.
Yeah.
Instead of, yeah.
That would be ideal.
Right, exactly.
Sierra, do you think you could monitor that?
Mhm.
I mean, if we can get that implemented, you could run it and control it and make sure that everything is what it needs to be?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, she's already kind of doing that too.
Well, she has, yeah,
In the
she's,
sense of, I think you would just, now we're just transferring it to a website in that sense, so, yeah, I think it's an easy push.
Mhm.
I like the inclusivity in the sense that it does include everyone, not just parents, community members,
Mhm.
staff, so, yeah.
so with respect to that,
Move to approve the policies as outlined. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or whatever it is. All of them.
All of them.
I'll second that.
we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.
Now, I do have one little input though.
Too late.
I was curious, well, it's not to any of these policies,
Mhm.
but I liked how the sick leave and the bank and all that worked. I'm curious about vacation. And being that there's nothing in statute really that governs vacation days and all that, I was just wondering.
So, Trustee Thompson, Brooke Cunningham, Director of HR, we do have a separate vacation policy. The only people that are eligible for vacation in the school district are full-time, year-round employees.
Right,
So there
okay.
is a separate vacation policy. We are going to also be bringing forward, I'm gonna be drafting for policy team, the personal day policy as well.
Okay, so do we do that? Does it all fall or under like a PTO? Do we just give a blanket PTO, like a paid time off, whether it's personal, vacation, whatever you get this? I'm not really familiar, but in reading through this, I know that there have been others in the district where, you know, vacation's been accrued or paid out or whatever, so it would be great if we could see.
And you know, actually, you're right, that vacation policy should probably come also before the committee, because I agree there's some things that we could probably improve on that as well that need to be addressed.
Okay, all right, well,
Yeah.
perfect. Those were my questions, thank you.
Okay. Next item is the alternative authorizations and emergency provisionals. Any questions? Okay. We have 3 persons. Any comments or conversations on these?
no.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Additional positions for position control. That's a lot of positions.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to mention it was a clerk oversight. I thought I had that uploaded and I did not.
Okay.
I do have it queued if it's like legally allowed to be shown yet, or if it has to go.
It's my understanding we can't add and subtract to the agenda once it's posted to the public.
That's correct.
So,
That was, my
Okay.
100% my oversight.
Chair Thompson, if I can speak to it, I did have a packet prepared for it. Unfortunately, that didn't quite make it to you. So specifically what we're asking for is some additional positions specific to special education paraprofessionals. As we're starting to get enrollment in, we're recognizing that we need some additional support in that area. We're asking for an increase of a 0.1 FTE. We're increasing one of our school sites from 80% full-time to 90% full-time. And then at the high school, we're asking for a 0.16 FTE increase. We have a teacher that's teaching one section right now, and we'd like to increase it to 2 so that we can offer stagecraft at Lakeland High School. So instead of hiring a full-time teacher, we have an individual that's just teaching those 2 sections so that we can make sure we continue our drama program at Lakeland High School. They just know that they need to. These are in addition to the position control that was provided to the board as part of the budget packet that was approved back in May. At that time, we discussed that we did kind of the bare bones in order to make sure that we presented a balanced budget to the board, and that we would be bringing additional positions to the board as we became aware of the need for them. So overall, it's 14 additional special education paraprofessionals for 7.97 FTE. Remember, they don't work year-round, and we take their number of hours, which are 6.5 hours, times the number of calendar days, and divide that by 2,080 hours a year. So they're technically a 0.58 FTE for each one of those positions. We're asking for 1 additional general education paraprofessionals. That's an instructional para. The 0.10 school psych increase, and then a 0.16 high school teacher increase. So that is our request for financial control. I did include the original matrix that was presented in the board packet for the hearing, and a revised matrix that just showed that increase. So a good chunk of this is just special education paraprofessionals.
Financial impact?
It remains to be determined once these individuals are hired. Right now, none of these the para positions are hired yet, so I couldn't tell you where they are going to land on salaries until we have them in, dependent upon years of experience in those roles.
Well, as far as the special education, I mean, we really, it's federally mandated,
Yep.
so you have to hire them,
Yep.
regardless of what the board would feel.
Exactly.
So,
I still have to bring them to you for your approval based on our
Right.
conversation around position
yes,
control. So.
absolutely, and I appreciate that, so we wouldn't,
but
our
respectfully.
vote or not vote, but go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, respectfully though, you can't even give us a ballpark of this it will be between this and this, like,
So roughly,
and where's the money coming from?
so that's the fun thing about special education, that's an unfunded mandate. So if we do have additional enrollment, which right now I had projected we would be down 200 students this year. Right now, based on where we're at, we're down 174. So that is a slight increase from what we were anticipating. Obviously, we are still a little bit of a ways out from school starting. So we will have hopefully more enrollment as time goes on and we get closer to the start of the school year. Typically we see that tick up
Very soon.
very soon. So with increased enrollment above what I had projected us to be down, that's additional revenue for the district. Unfortunately, with special education, if we don't really have a say in it, so if we don't have that additional enrollment, we get to pay for it out of fund balance.
I understand that. What Trustee Jones asked for was, what are we talking about financially, and you're saying we don't know, and
So
I don't
for
understand.
For the paras, it's going to be about $322,000 if I just take the rough average of what a
And
typical
that's
para
the
makes.
only expectation,
Mhm, mhm.
yeah.
So that's a very rough estimate. I can get you a more detailed one once hiring is complete.
So that's the total ball.
Yeah.
That's just for the paras. What's the increase on the site?
The psych, it's about $6,000. We're able to decrease a stipend that was going to someone else because the workload's gonna shift, so it's essential a wash hopefully on that one. And then the teaching section is just, instead of a .16 teacher contract, it's a .32. So I'm looking to Brooke on that one to confirm I'm speaking that correctly.
And that means what?
They're a Cat 1, R1 teacher, or are we doing a stipend for that one?
So it would just be a reduced FTE contract.
Yeah, so, and I believe that the individual, I'm looking to Brooke because I don't remember where the individual is placed with their teaching credentials.
And so, yeah, this person I'm still gonna have to work with, but they would be in that cell 1.
The cell 1, so it would be .3250. 1 second. About $16,000.
So you're looking at about $375,000 in additional salary.
Yep.
That we don't know where we're getting the money from other than fund balance.
At this point, fund balance. But hopefully, like I said, enrollment continues to tick up. We did, as I addressed in my financial follow-up earlier this evening, we did have some additional revenue come in that we weren't anticipating for the penalties and interest. So that $145,000 was unbudgeted revenue, so that will help offset this increase. And then the increase on the benefits helped bring up where we're at, so that we weren't dipping into fund balance so much. So it kind of washes essentially between the two.
So what happens to the 306,000 classified?
306,000.
Yeah, you gave us a number a while ago that there would be added revenue of 306,000.
Yeah, so that was built in to the budget submission to the state. So that is what brought us up to barely eating into fund balance. So it got us more even. When we did build this budget, there was a small dip into fund balance that was built into the budget in order to make it balanced.
Define small.
Let me pull it up for you. We had estimated 343,000 into fund balance. With that, the 306, that's where we got down to the 36,000 that I referred to of being able to decrease that dip. So instead of 343, we'll be roughly around 306,000 or 36,000 that we're currently, and that's assuming everything hits exactly the way we anticipated to.
So it sounds like we could be back up to that 340 or 50 or 75 or 400 or 5.
I will tell you, without approving the additional class at Lakeland High School, so that .16, we would not be able to offer stagecraft, which is part of that drama program at the high school. And then the paraprofessionals, unfortunately, that ties in. Kelsey was here. She can speak to those a little bit more. But
well, no, I respectfully, they're required to be hired. That's not a problem. It's navigating the finances.
Absolutely.
And so that's the conversation we're having at the moment. Not saying you can't hire them. We're just saying, what's the picture going to look like now? Because we're having to find roughly $300. I'm just going to ballpark $50,000 to accomplish this.
And I will remind the board, based on the budget hearing conversation, we had a plethora of vacant positions, and so I will be bringing to the board those adjustments as the positions are finalized. We did our level best to kind of estimate where we thought people would come in. Some came in less, some came in more. The new state mandates for the minimum salaries for teachers, depending on their career ladder classification, really played heavily into some of those being a little bit out of balance for what we had budgeted for initially. So when you hire veteran teachers, which is a great thing for the district, we pay a higher amount for them. anticipate to bring all of that information to you at the September board meeting. As we've discussed in the past, I will have a column in the financials this year that has the working budget to show those adjustments so that you're aware of the fluctuations based on salaries and benefits. Because salaries and benefits are such a huge portion of our district budget. We're people. We're in the business of educating people, so we're very people heavy. That fluctuation I'll bring to you in September as part of that working budget adjustment.
So the one, what did you say, the 1.6, what was the one to maintain the, what was the program at the high school?
The drama program.
Drama.
Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't covered in the levy, the co-curricular, the $2 million because
It's an instructional class, it's not an extracurricular program.
Oh, okay. So it's
So
not
it's part
covered
of
under
it's
there.
part of what students can take as an elective, so no, it's not covered under there. Those extracurricular co-curriculars are the after-school programs. That
Well, they have
students-
band, choir,
Yeah.
I mean, those are.
A lot, so for that, that's that supplemental for them to travel, to participate in performances, that kind of stuff. That's what that co-curricular funding is for. It's not to offset the instructional cost of the program.
Yeah, we need to explain that better probably, because that's not the way it's worded on the ballot, but okay. And we can't take any action tonight, so I guess we have to wait. And you can bring all of that to us, the dollar figure that assumed or.
We're meeting again next week, so
Yeah, that's
we
what I
can
mean,
add
yeah.
the packet.
So
and
even though
information.
this is on the agenda tonight,
Well,
You want approval for these positions tonight?
Yes.
though,
So we can post.
so we can post and hire, yes.
Yeah, because we're
So
competing with
the
other-
item is on the agenda, it's just unfortunate that the packet didn't get posted with the item on the agenda, but the item is on the agenda.
Okay. So it was paraprofessionals increase the psych and SLP, is that what you said? Or
Just
increase-
as the school site.
Oh, psych, okay.
A 10th of an FTE, and then increase a high school teacher by
Oh, yeah.
1.16, which is and then it's one general paraprofessional, so a 0.58 FTE.
So we're looking to hire how many parents?
It's 15 altogether.
15,
So is is that teacher the one that we just did an authorization?
So yeah, I'll talk to you about that, the alternative authorization. So in here on the position control, it's for actually 2 sections. On the all off, I had indicated 1 section, then the principal came to me after I had already gotten this done and said we have to actually split it into 2 sections because you can't have theater and stagecraft in the same section. So we have to do 2 sections for that.
And then as that individual is a classified employee, their classified contract will be reduced as a result of teaching this class.
That is correct.
Okay,
So-
that's what I wondered is,
Yeah,
yeah.
we don't have a person that was gonna come in for 1 period a day,
No, so
and now we're gonna
that's
have them come in
So
for 2
instead
periods.
of being a 5.5
Okay.
hour employee, they'll be a 4.5 hour classified employee and then have a teacher contract for 0.32 if this is approved.
Okay.
So they'll have 2 kind of separate.
So it's offset
Yeah.
a little bit.
Issues.
a
It's
little
offset
bit.
issues.
A little bit.
But we do receive funding from the state through salary-based apportionment for that person teaching these classes.
So Bob moved to approve?
He did, I will second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Policy support services. Okay. So it was tasked to the clerk to see if there were any other organizations that offer policy support. I believe someone reached out to Anderson, Julian Hole, and they are willing to charge us $19,000 to look over all of our policies. Doesn't mean that they're going to revise anything, but they'd look over all of them. And then they would make recommendations for ISBA revisions. Grade school partnerships would charge us $8,250 for a 5-day visit to our humble abode to look at our policies and tell us what they could do for us. That would still not be giving us what we're looking for. ISBA is willing to sell us their policies for $10,453.77.
Which is basically the membership.
What's the 34 you say?
I don't know.
They are reducing it. It's gradualed in. It's 25%, and then it's
Okay, so
75%, and then finally it would be the 100% within 3 years.
So we would pay in 3 years $10,000. So we would be doing okay. And that does not include a membership to ISBA.
Okay.
That's just the policies. And then Lyons and O'Dowd said that they could go through all the policies because she had been working on several of the policies from previous administration at a rate of $250 an hour, which they are willing to consider a flat rate. The recommendation is to contract with ISBA.
I do have some information in regards to last year our policies. We did pay out for policy review $4,199. So we're already kind of paying some portion of that. And the idea with going with ISBA is that we would get some legal services. I think it's up to 4 hours free if I reviewed it correctly.
And then check
Okay,
housing.
except the thing is the policies, the legal costs for the policies that were reviewed would have been incurred anyway due to the nature of why the policy was asked to be reviewed. So I don't know that we would have saved anything by being partnered with ISBA.
It's not about saving, it's just about an umbrella of the district, and I have used something very sみlar in the state that I came from, Arizona, you know, and they talked about it in regards to, hang on.
Well, I do believe our clerk has been doing a phenomenal job of linking in statute and correlation of IDAPA and federal mandates, etc., into the policies that we currently have. She's doing a phenomenal job with that, showing where specific the language within the policy aligns with the statute, so that we're not off base.
Chair Thompson, can I add something?
Sure.
to this? I apologize. I just wanted to clarify that $10,453 is for a full membership to ISBA. If they prorate the dues over 3 years so that you have a tiered approach, but that is a full membership that allows us to attend conferences, go to Day on the Hill, all of that. If we wanted to just do Policy Plus, which is a separate standalone thing that they offer, that $10,000 in 3 years would include the Policy Plus piece, but if we just only want to do Policy Plus, it would be $3,500 a year, and not be a member of ISBA but have access to the policies. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
Another question, real quick. How many subscriptions do we have? How many in the district? I want them all added up, including this,
Trustee
because
Quimby.
we could transport the younger kids.
Yeah, so Trustee Quimby, I know that we did a report on that last year, so we'll be able to pull that back out for you and update it for this year. I don't know that I would have it in time for the board meeting next week, but I will do my best to make sure that we get that as soon as possible. We've done a lot of work to consolidate or cancel some of those subscriptions. For example, we have transitioned to a program called FMX. It consolidated our IT work orders, our facility work orders, and our master library scheduling for facility use into one program, and we were able to save over $10,000 a year by making that switch and consolidating into one platform instead of having 3 standalone platforms. So there is a lot of work being done by the district to remove redundancies and consolidate to ensure that we're doing our level best to be good fiduciaries of taxpayer dollars and state funding.
Yeah. The only reason we moved away from ISBA, well, there are many, but the big ones were, number one, the community was not happy that the taxpayer money was being spent to a lobby group, and they are a registered PAC. And also what we found with them was it didn't matter with the policies, we were constantly paying for review because they were outdated. They would reference outdated federal law, they would miss state law. You could tell that it was like 3 or 4 people worked on the policy because number one, the font was different, but just the flow of the policy. So, and we did do their training, and the training was of no benefit.
Right.
To board trustees anyways.
And we could still go, we just have to pay a little bit more.
If you wanted.
Well, you can go to Day on the Hill without paying.
Yeah, you don't have
just
to have
fly
anything
down
to
there.
go to Day on the Hill.
No.
It's open to everybody.
Exactly.
So, and I understand that, you know, wanting to network for superintendent, all that, and I have no problem with that, but as far as taking the taxpayer money, there just wasn't a benefit to it. We spent so much money anyways, and especially when we first started doing this because there were so many years. And that was the other thing. The final thing was we could never, they would tell us that we paid for one thing and they would send us a brochure or an email or this or that, but we never really got it all consolidated. And then every time we asked about something, it was always more money. Even though they were telling us, oh no, you get that, oh no, you get that, but then when we would ask for it, we had to give more money.
Right.
So that's why we went away from ISBA. They had, the community wasn't happy with the money being spent there. You know, I guess you could buy the policies if people are worried about the policies.
I'm just worried about that.
those.
Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
No, I interrupted you. No, ma'am, you have the floor.
You know, that I think, what was it, $3,400, $3,500 to buy all the new policies or all the policies together.
It gives us access to it in a secure portal, essentially, so anytime there's an update, we would be able to access the updates. It's just a yearly subscription, for lack of a better term, to be able to get into Policy Plus and view all those updated policies. We all know
and that was
legislative changes.
Yeah, that was but legislative changes come from, I mean, you could go to Idaho Ed and get the same information, Ed News. And you used a very good word, we can get in there and view, because that's exactly what you get. You do not get the ability to modify the policy, to make it into what appeals to your district. Because that's another thing we went round and round with them, is that, yeah, we could download, we could view, but we couldn't take it as a template. So basically, the prior clerk was spending a lot of time translating all those into something that we could actually edit.
So they do download into a template now, and we are able to make the adjustments that we do in policy committee.
And we were able to too, where it came to. And another thing too is, yeah, I'm just looking for the legal umbrella, but one of the things I could recommend is that I understand things were not good then, but things change and things adapt. And you know, at least at the very least is maybe we can, you know, try it for a year, and if all those things still exist, by all means, I would support the board's decision to, you know, not support it.
The thing is we had it, how long have we had it before?
Many years.
It has not.
So we had it for all these years. The policies never got updated we had policies that never got updated since the 90s.
That's great, but that's not ISBA's fault. That
No, I know.
We're paying for
That's
services,
administration's
and we never
fault.
had-
That's administration's fault.
Not
And I
yours,
guarantee
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
We paid for it and nothing got used,
Right.
so.
Actually, that'd be the board's fault.
We do have a lot.
That's the board's job.
Yeah.
With
It is
the
the board's
policy
job.
committee that we have in place,
Yes.
that's not happening right now. I mean, we
Right.
do a lot of work in policy committee.
But you'll still do
Yeah.
the same work. I mean, the work that's done now is nothing compared to the work that was done 4 years ago.
Right.
Guaranteed. It was an everyday 8 to 12 hours a day. So the system that's been put into place now is much better than where we were. I mean, if the board wants to spend the money, you know, that's the board's prerogative. I'm just saying, we've already been down this road, and I just remember that they haven't changed with being a registered PAC, and they do take the money to lobby at the state level for what they feel is great for education. Sometimes people agree, sometimes they don't, but we're spending their money for it.
Right.
So,
we put a lot of time in it, and any recommendations, I mean, obviously these policies are reviewed by attorneys. I'm just trying to protect our district. Lawsuits cost a lot more, so just know that. And I do trust Chairman Thompson has done a great job. I've enjoyed working with her in policy. I've now moved the assistant soup out of that position, and I've joined in. I would like to at least give it a shot, you know, and see what we go from there. And if their concerns are with the board as they were before, again, I would support that. But again, I'm just trying to make things better for us.
Well, respecting that we're trying to make things better for us, yet we've just had to cut $2 million out of our budget. We have communities that are incredibly stressed over the busing situation.
Yeah.
And then
We're
to
gonna
think
work
that
through
we're gonna spend $10,000 so that we can just copy and paste, I'm not in favor of it whatsoever. Because of the new added clerk, her talents are beyond what we even expected.
Yep.
She has done a phenomenal job at linking and exploring and researching and discovering, and she is still a work in progress. I mean, all of us are. But she's doing a phenomenal job, and I don't see why we would want to spend, you know, $10,000 or even $3,500 to go backwards, because we have come so much farther forward in doing the work. Then if we spend out the money, then we copy and paste, then we still have to do the work, because 90% of the time those copy and paste policies don't align with our district beliefs, our community's beliefs, our parents' beliefs, wants, or needs for their kids. So we have to change them anyway.
Right. Sarah's in her first year. I would love to support her through ISBA. I think that would be great. It would teach her and make her better in the long run. And again, she is not an attorney. I feel like that would support her too. So I understand your concerns. I get all that. But at the very least, we can try and we can move forward with that. That's all I'm asking.
I think the whole fear of legality is because you don't have the background is actually not there. I know where you're coming from, but believe me,
The legality.
we've been down that road.
Okay.
But like I say, whatever the board wants to do, I just don't. And if Sierra thinks that having the copy and paste policies will help her for the $3,400, then, you know. I haven't attended any lease, so I have no idea how that's going.
It's going great. We're gonna have to find a new time though, because school's gonna start.
Yeah, well, I can't attend in the middle of the day.
And again, I want to make it very clear, she has done a wonderful job, and I
Yeah.
really appreciate Chairman Thompson recognizing that. And I also want to recognize her work, because she puts a lot of time in that, and that's another thing. That's a huge burden on her, who gets paid nothing.
But that's our
And I get
legal
that.
obligation. That's
And I
in
get
the
that.
law.
I get that. I mean,
Yeah.
but I'm part of
Right.
that too. So I actually am assigned to look through the policies, and I really appreciate her doing it. But it is a lot to ask of her, and that's why I put that in there. So.
Well, I would just say I appreciate the recommendation. I understand how much work is involved, how much time is involved in policy development, and it can be decomplicated and pretty tedious sometimes. So any help you can get with that is always a plus. And, you know, if we're talking about, you know, maybe a 1-year trial membership, then we would get, you know, the assistance with all of that, plus whatever other benefits that are available through the membership, including the attendance at the ISB convention, those kind of things.
Yes, sir. Knowledge is power. I need all the help I can get.
I have no further questions or anything. I'm good.
I would move to approve a 1-year trial with ISBA at the $34.84.59 laddered approach.
So that would be membership into the ISBA again. All right.
So beyond that, just the policies actually do the full $10,000, but at $3,400 a year.
Well, the laddered approach of the $3,484 is for membership,
right?
Based in 3
for
years.
1 year.
Membership for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be curious to know that if we backed out after a year, given it's a laddered approach, if we'd be on the hook for $10,453.77.
I would check. And
Yeah,
you could,
because
you
to
could
me-
approve making that a provision of it if they do hold us, and obviously we get it in writing in that sense, then if that would be the case, then I would say that we wouldn't go with it.
I would amend my motion to,
As noted.
as, yes.
There you go.
What you said.
Yep.
And did you second that? Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
2 in favor, 3 opposed, motion dies.
Thank you for considering it. I really appreciate it.
I was going to ask, is there any other motion that anyone would like to be brought forward?
I would entertain, although I know it's still gonna be the same amount of work and money, but Mr. Taylor does not have that experience. So if we did $3,400, what was it, $3,400?
No, $3,500, I believe is what Jessica said.
For just the policies? For 1 year? I'm fine with that.
Thank you.
That would give Sierra at least the policies. She would still put in the time to, you know,
Copy and paste and then change.
Right, right.
It would give a starting point though, at least.
Yeah. Well, we already have a starting point. That's what I'm saying is people don't what the conversation is they don't understand where we're at. Because we think we're adding to and we're behind and we're not, we're actually not.
Right.
That's the problem is that we're not gonna it's not gonna move the needle anyway. I know people think it will, but it won't. It's literally will not move the needle. But because people have apprehension and they don't understand that, $3,400 for the policy work, I'm fine with. So I would make a motion to approve the 1 year $3,500 policy download from ISBA.
So
They're still using the money for the same, they're gonna send the money the same way, but it's $15 more. I know it's only $15 to just have plus than to pay $34.84
For a full membership.
for the full membership that maybe our new superintendent could get something out of going to the ISBA conference.
Well, he can go no matter what. That's the other thing, you can pay to go to any of them. But the thing is I'm not up for making a 3-year commitment. And if it's a laddered approach, what they're telling you is for 3 years, you'll pay basically a single year. After the 3 years, then we're back to the 10,000. It's the same thing they gave us before.
But that's why I amended my motion was to, if it would go to the 10,000, then it would,
we were out.
we wouldn't do it.
Right, okay, we can leave it there. I was just trying to get the policies, but that's fine. I'll withdraw my motion.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So then there is no new motion.
Right, nope.
Okay. All right then, motion failed.
to your next topic, can I
Okay.
seek clarification? Did you guys vote on item H9?
Yes, we
Okay.
did.
All right,
We
must have
approved
been
them.
Yes,
asleep
we
at that
approved
time. And Trustee Grissom, I apologize when I came up here and addressed you. I have spent
Oh, that's
a
fine.
few hours with
Yeah.
Chair Thompson there.
That's fine.
No big deal.
I knew what you were saying.
All right, moving on to the student club approval. I have a feeling this was just something that,
Got stuck on here?
yeah,
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
because we did talk about this in agenda planning. There was no clear, concise. There was thought that we reapprove the clubs every year.
Oh.
But I couldn't find it anywhere in policy that we're required to do that. And I don't know necessarily that we did it the last 2 or 3 years.
No. Once
No.
it's approved, it's approved.
It's approved.
Mhm.
I know we ran in, so that this is a little bit of historical information. We ran into some problems because clubs were just being approved. They weren't following policy, and clubs were existing that administration had no knowledge of. So we had to short in and actually make policies and procedures that we were aligning to. So I think all of administration has a really good handle on how to bring clubs forward for their buildings to make sure that the kids are getting any extracurriculars they would like.
Thank you for the
Mhm.
history, I appreciate it.
Yeah. So on that, I move to just table the student clubs. Because I don't think.
Until we have ones to
Yeah,
approve.
until we have clubs to approve, yes, that would be great.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Chair,
What was that?
I say you have a prerogative not to go ahead, but that's fine. With the.
Okay. Well, I did go ahead to table.
That's fine. That's fine.
Thank you, Bob. Moving on to the negotiated agreement. I would just like some clarification. And I don't know if either the LEA president or Brooke can attest to this. Was the negotiated agreement that was ratified, was it the one with all these corrections, or was it a clean version? Anybody? Don't recall?
I don't know which one you're referring to.
Well, what we were
The
providing.
one that you ratified.
Yeah, the one that you ratified was the one that we.
That we
made some-
put together through IBE.
Yes.
So it's the one with all the corrections and things, so all the teachers saw all that and that's what they
Yes.
ratified? Okay,
Yes.
that was what I wanted to know.
Sorry.
That's okay.
And that's what we have before us.
That is correct. I just wanted to make sure that was what was ratified and that there wasn't a clean version that was ratifying. That's all I've been getting at.
This is clean as it got.
Oh, that's sad. Okay. All right, so,
The only thing that's missing out of it is the salary schedule itself.
the
It's
salary
linked.
schedule's on a link.
It's linked at the beginning.
Yeah, there's a page 2.
Yep, sorry, but it's,
It's also as a separate attachment.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we talked about going forward as we're working on it to put it all in one.
And what did we found out that we can begin negotiating
You can
for
once-
next year
Once you
immediately.
guys approve this one, you can. That was legal.
This one has to be in place
Has
in
to be
order to start
approved before-
negotiating.
Yes, ma'am.
For the, okay.
And as I believe as the statute states, if the LEA doesn't bring it forward to begin negotiations, we can tell them that we would like to begin negotiations.
Okay.
And
Yep.
start the process.
I move to approve the negotiated agreement as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Discussion items, future board meeting day change. We had a constituent address the fact that unfortunately our board meetings align with the city's board meetings, which makes it challenging for people to decide which meeting they're going to go to. Does the board have any desire to move the meeting date, be it the day of the week or the week itself and maintain the same day, so that others within the community and maybe even your trustees could attend some of the council functions, council meetings, etc. for the different cities and whatnot.
I'm okay with changing the week, but I really like Wednesdays work really just tend to work really well for me. So,
any other input?
I don't care.
I'll do whatever the board wants to do.
Well, you have quite the social calendar, so.
Well,
I know you do. That's why I'm saying, hey.
Yeah, so if we change the night of the week, then, I sometimes run into problems with other meetings and that sort of thing. So I've kind of tried to work around so that Wednesday nights are
Our board nights.
our board nights.
So it doesn't matter the week then, is what I'm hearing you say?
No, the week doesn't matter much.
Okay. How about you two?
I'm good. The week's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm all up for changing it. I do have the same issue. I miss a lot of other meetings because of this, but it is what it is. I was trying to think when we remember we changed it at one point so we actually had more time to go over. I mean, granted our agendas aren't as monstrous as they used to be, but it seemed like somehow we got away from the weekend thing where we weren't spending all weekend going over the agenda, but I don't remember how we did that, or did we change the day of the week so we got the agenda before? I don't remember.
Well, we are.
It was short-lived, but it was great while it happened.
We've been working a few things out because the agenda should be going live for everyone on Monday, but the board should be being provided the agenda with its attachments on Friday for review and understanding. We've apparently been operating a little differently, so we got some clarity today. Because the agenda was going live on Friday, which would bind the hands of any modifications or changes by the trustees for the Monday publication.
to request more information or whatever.
Exactly. So we've cleared that up. So everything is still due on Friday, and it will be released to the board on Friday to have the entire weekend, Monday and Tuesday, to review all the documentation.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. There is a little hiccup, since I do believe it falls under the umbrella of this future board meeting date change. We have decided to hold two board meetings, one being a more regular, one being a special. According to the definition of a regular board meeting in the law, that special meeting is technically a regular board meeting as well.
Right.
So I think we need to decide, are we having two regular board meetings? Because a special should be just kind of
That was our lingo. That was a carryover lingo. We've always understood it was two regular board meetings, but remember we split because what we were, especially as school starts, we were trying to like do all the business at one and do all the policy calendar, whatever else on the other one. But we never really did that. We just kept them all rolled together. So
Well, and we made the one a special meeting so that we didn't have to have it if we didn't want it, so that it
unfortunately
made it more optional.
Right. Unfortunately, due to the legal definition of a regular board meeting, if you give a specific date, time, place, meeting, we're telling everybody we're going to go ahead and meet on the Wednesday at 6 p.m. That's nothing special. That's regular.
Right.
So unfortunately, I think, if we're calling two regular board meetings, then we have to hold them unless I think there's good cause to cancel, which, I mean, we have yet to really cancel meetings at all, ever.
We shifted dates.
We like to have company with one another, Bob. Let's get back to, if we change the week, because we've been doing the first and the third week, that would mean we would bump to the second and the fourth week if we just weekly jiggled without changing the day.
We're getting a thumbs up from the CFO.
Well, yeah,
An
more
extra
time
week
for her,
to-
more time for her,
Yeah.
which is fine. I just, I need to know what the board would like to do with respect to moving the meeting date times. And then because we have already posted where our regular meetings, I would just ask that you get confirmation from legal that we can just amend that schedule, that we don't need to do any special notifications or anything like that.
For the rest of the
Yeah, for the rest of the year.
So if you would please send that request and I can take care of it. Is that okay?
What's that?
That request you had, I'd like to contact council. Can I do that for her? Just so I get my own clarification.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just me. And if you're not okay with that, I understand, but yeah, it just.
Okay, well, there are times that I just ask the clerk to go ahead and call council, because it also educates the clerk more so.
Yeah.
So.
And by all means, I'll share any information with the clerk.
Oh, I have no doubt that you'll show your information. I just, being hands-on learner. Yeah, being a hands-on learner, I know that it's a lot easier. So maybe you are a hands-on learner as well.
I am. Yes, ma'am.
I believe Sierra is as well. So.
We'll
okay.
partner up. How about that? Is that fair?
Maybe y'all could call together. Do it.
I think that's a good idea. Thank you.
And we're really comfortable office
Yeah.
chair.
Yep, you do.
Okay.
So thank you.
How you doing, Bob? Checking that calendar.
Sure.
Okay. Just let me know.
So you're proposing to shift from first and third to second and fourth?
Correct.
To stay on Wednesday?
Stay on Wednesday.
I can live with that.
Okay.
I'm good with it.
You're good with it? Yeah. It's not going to interfere with hunting.
Yeah, it
fishing,
is.
or-
Yeah.
It still interferes, right?
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So it was a point of discussion. We do need to have information brought back. So if you can get that information brought back, I would like to add to the agenda for next week an action item to move the date.
How come the city council wasn't active?
Yeah, why
You
can't they
know,
move? Why do we have to move around
seriously,
them?
right? I mean,
Well, we could all show up there and ask, well, we're having a meeting. That's right.
It's one of 3 cities too that
Yeah.
we operate in, and
Exactly.
what about, I don't know, county commissioner meetings? They're a little bit different.
no, they're not on my friend list. Okay, so do we have any dates to remember that didn't make it on the agenda? Because there's none. Okay.
Well, I think they were all in the superintendent's report.
Oh.
Our
Breakfast.
dates for the breakfast.
Okay.
and back to school.
All right.
Back to school.
And then we have some meetings next week.
So then, yeah,
Yeah,
we
Wednesday.
even if the superintendent's
Yeah.
updating us with dates to remember, could you please put them on the agenda under dates to remember for the co-ops? That'd be great. Do we have any board member input for future agenda items?
No, but also they need to go on the board calendar, those dates.
That's true, they do.
Yeah.
And that would be your responsibility.
I can do.
Perfect.
I'd like to see the bus schedules and see if are we still double routing at all? Buses,
The gallery is shaking their heads, yes.
Yeah.
are we? So wouldn't it make sense to single route kids? Yeah, and then transport the kids that have to walk? Yeah, I think it would make sense, but.
I have asked, just so you know, because I didn't put everybody on the email, but I did speak with the superintendent, and they are working on that, giving us a map showing the discontinued routes, those 8 or 9 that we talked about, and then a map showing us what those routes look like now. So some of those emails, which I answered the ones that were sent directly to me, and I understand the concerns, because if we have students, you know, with disabilities or whatever, we're just gonna have to consider that. And some of the others, I mean, my kids walked a mile to the bus stop when we lived out further. But some of them were saying that it would, the way the new route is, it actually is 5 miles from their home. So I need to see what was actually
It would be good to see what we had and where we're at.
Right.
I would like to point out though that when this was brought up for the 2 million reduction, we were told we would have 11 bus routes eliminated, and initially it was 5, and now we're up to 8. So I think that's kind of a caveat on the transportation department, that to maintain within that 500,000, they didn't need to cut 11. But it would be beneficial to understand
Right.
what was cut, what we have, or what we had, what was cut, and what we have.
Yeah,
to
and
have
I
a visual.
also asked for, because a lot of times we get a family number, but I
Mhm.
asked for students, because if we have 5 families, doesn't sound too bad, but if each family has 4 kids, that's 20 students.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
I would like to know the student impact of those, but, so that's what I've asked for, Dave, just so you're, and everybody else is aware, because we sort of,
Well, you
I had asked
that.
for this at the last meeting.
You
yeah.
did, and it should have been brought back
Yeah.
on the agenda, and it was not.
Yeah.
So I do apologize for that.
Yeah, well, I didn't remind anybody either, so.
So maybe if you can jot that down, please, so that we don't forget, and those maps can make it to the agenda, that would be great. Any,
I know you guys are working on it.
Well,
but I know
Chairman
it's
Johnson, I have a few
change
things,
you
I have a
said.
few things that I'd like to say on that. And Jessica and I, we're best friends today. We talked a lot, obviously, as you guys saw my emails out. The bottom line is that from what I understand, and please, you guys can chime in if you want, is that we basically condensed a lot of the routes, and one
But
of
this
them-
isn't a discussion item that's on the agenda.
Right,
So
and I
should we
get
be
it.
having this
I just
conversation
I just
at all?
wanted to clarify.
No, I don't
It's a
think we
future-
should.
Future item.
Well,
Yeah,
I
but
know,
it's an
he's
item
giving
for
us-
No, you're right. No, you're right.
You're
You're
getting-
right.
yeah,
You're right.
we-
You're right. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Okay, you're
I'm
good.
sorry.
That's fine.
That was fine.
Yeah. So we need to add the maps. Is that pretty much what you want? The maps?
Yeah, I wanna
Yeah,
see
we-
where we're double routed,
Okay.
cause it doesn't make sense to double route kids to me. I can't get it through my head.
Okay.
I think it's a waste of money.
Right.
And I know parents are concerned about high school kids riding the bus with their grade school kids, but if they mess up one time, you make it perfectly clear. If you mess up one time, you're done. You
Yeah,
don't get
you're
around
off
the
the
bus.
bus.
You're off.
Yeah, I do think there's measures that could be put in place. So to have a better understanding of what we've actually modified and done would be great.
It just helps us answer better the constituents when they're emailing or,
Right.
you know, and sometimes, and we have found out, like in the past when we, last year or year before last, we did move some routes around because again, you know, trying to save the money. And we did end up changing, I think, 2 of them because after the school started, then it was like, oh yeah, that really isn't working.
Right.
We need to
Well, I'm
fix
glad
this.
you bring that up too, and again, I know it's not a discussion, but just know, I mean, we haven't, these are changes, and people don't change, but bottom line is, let's see what it looks like, and then we will adjust, guys. I mean, we're gonna, remember I said, we're gonna do what's best for kids.
Right.
So I appreciate it.
Okay.
Noted too.
All right. On that note, I do need a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 742061B.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We need a roll call vote.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Bain?
Yes.
Chair Thompson?
Yes.
Trustee Quimby?
Yes.
Vice Chair Grissom?
Yes.
On that note, it is 3:13. We will take a 5-minute recess and then enter into executive session. 8:13. All right, so we've come out of executive session. There are no action items. It is 9:02. Meeting adjourned.